Hey, what's up, YouTube? How's everybody doing? Hey, this is a quick random video that I decided to pop on here right quick. I just want to give a great big shout out to the fathers. This is Father's Day. So I want to give a big shout out to the men, to all the fathers out there, especially those who are doing the right thing, those who've taken responsibility, accountability for their children. Happy Father's Day. Hey, we live in a day where Father's Day is not celebrated as much as Mother's Day. Mothers get a lot of attention, a lot of, restaurants do a lot of dinners for mothers or whatever, but fathers don't quite get that much attention. But just want to let you know that, hey, fathers is just as important. Matter of fact, I'm going to encourage the men to, hey, know your value. God knows your value. As a matter of fact, when God created man, male of the human race, he used all the creativity juices that he had to create us. He created us from nothing. He scooped up the dust of the earth, the soil, the clay, and formed us. And then he turned around and breathed life into us. And he made us first. And so he made us leaders. And so just know that you're special. God made us special. And he said that we're special. Matter of fact, he communicated with us quite some time before he decided to give us a helper. So just know your worth. Happy Father's Day, men. And hey, stay true to yourself and who you are as a father, as a dad. Hey, all of us might not be perfect fathers. I know I was very immature, back in my younger days. I was a father, but I didn't do everything right. But as I grow older and as I mature, I'll have to say that my grandkids say that I'm a perfect dad. I just received a little note from my daughter just now, and it kind of touched me a little bit. But anyway, hey, fathers, happy Father's Day. Celebrate yourself. You're special because God says that you're special. Don't let nobody put you down. Don't let nobody say that you're less than. Hey, you're great, and especially in the eyes of God. So, hey, happy Father's Day. Hey, I think about my dad. When I was growing up, I really didn't understand my dad and what he was trying to do. I thought my dad was the meanest guy. He was kind of strict. He was a disciplinary in our family. So I didn't get along with my dad as a younger guy. But as I grow older and moved out and got married and got to experience life, I kind of understand where my dad was doing. He had his methods, and we all develop our methods in raising our kids, but he had his methods. But one thing I have to admit, none of us in my immediate family has ever been to jail. None of us. And so my dad, he did some amazing things when I look back at it. One of the things he did was, when I was younger, it was time, at least I felt like it was time for me to get a car. So, I asked my dad, hey, Dad, I'd like to get a car, So he said, I tell you what, he says, you save your money, and when you saved enough where you think you've got enough to get a car, he said, I'll match it, and then we'll go get a car. So at the time, I had two paper routes. I had a big one and a medium-sized one. I had a 450 customer Detroit Free Press paper route. Then I had a 200 customer Detroit News paper route. So over time, over a number of months, I saved my money, and so when I felt like I was ready, I went to my dad and said, hey, Dad, I'm ready. He said, okay, good. He said, what you got? So at the time I pulled out my money, I counted out my money, and I had $1,500. Now, back in the 70s, $1,500 was a lot of money. So my dad looked at it, he says, oh, man, you got $1,500? I said, yep. Well, my dad, he was true to his word. And that's what we got to be as men and as fathers. We got to be true to our word. And so my dad he went to the bank. He took out $1,500, and together we went, and for $3,000, we went and bought me a car. Now, back then, $3,000 was the cost of pretty close to a brand new car. So I was able to get a car that's only 2 years old. I ended up getting a 1973 Cougar XR7 with a 351 Cleveland engine. And so I'm driving around with a almost brand new car, and that was pretty good. But my dad was true to his word, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Hey, be true to your word as fathers. Another situation where I felt like my dad was kind of mean and he was unfair. He started charging me rent for my bedroom. I'm like, whoa, I grew up in this house. This is home. Why are you charging me rent? And I thought he was so unfair, charging me rent And I talked about that and talked about that and talked about that for a long time to a lot of different people. Like, my dad's charging me rent to stay in my own room. And I just felt like that was unfair. But later on, when I turned 18, I think it was 18 and a half, now almost going on 19, it was time for me to move out. And I found me an apartment, and I started, I had a job at the time. So I started, building my own life. And so when I told my dad I was moving out, so just before I moved out, my dad said, come with me. I got something for you. I went, okay. He wouldn't tell me what it was, but he put me in the car. He drove me to the bank. And he went to the bank and he withdrew some money and he handed me the envelope. He said, this is for you. I said, really? I said, what's this? He said, this is all the rent that you've been paying over the last couple years. He said, I created a savings for you so that when you get on your own, you got something to get started on. And man, that's amazing. I thought, man, I kind of felt bad because I had been talking about my dad over the years, talking about how he's so mean and he charging me rent for my room, and he was doing it for me, but I didn't know that. So he ended up giving me, so I ended up renting my first, townhouse. Ended up going to, at that time, Robinson Furniture. They had like a 3-room sale. So I ended up getting the 3 rooms with the money. Ended up paying my first month's rent and ended up putting some money away. So, hey, to be a good dad, be true to your word. Take care of your kids. Take care of your man child, because your man child is special. And we live in a world where we're going to get put down, because a lot of men is not doing right. And they're not treating the women right. And as a result, we got a culture of women who feel like, I don't need a man, because men is not doing right. Social media is kind of putting us down and whatever. But hey, there's a lot of great men out here that's doing the right thing. We're raising our kids. We're doing right. We being true to our word. We living a life of integrity, living our life on principles. And so I'm going to say, hey guys, hey, happy Father's Day. Be good to yourself, be good to your kids, and be good to the kid's mama. If you're not with the mama, hey, be good to the kid's mama. Don't take it out on your kids, what the relationship you and your mom had, but be true to your kids. But anyway, hey, take care. Hey, have a great day, and check this out. I'm going to see you later. I'm going to see you on the next video. All right. Peace.